Well, hello and welcome to the channel. I'm Cindy Daychuck with Queen Bee Creations, and it should be no surprise with these two stools hanging out here that this is our next project. I was gifted these by well, you know what? A really good friend of my youngest son. He had them in his apartment, asked if I wanted them. I've been dying to do some fusion on metal painting, so that's what we're gonna do. I mean, these are perfectly fine. They're sturdy, they swivel still. There is nothing wrong with these beyond the fact that the seat cushions are a little worn. They've got some rips in them. They're pretty old and tired. This is like that faux bronzy black speckled finish. So they're dated more than anything else. We're gonna transform them. We're gonna make them lovely again. And it is going to be dead easy. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take my screwdriver and I'm going to remove the seat cushions. It's going to be way easier to paint without the cushions there, and it's going to be way easier to fix and zhuzh them up. The second thing that I'm going to do is, I've got it hanging out over here, is I am going to paint the metal with Ultra Grip by Fusion. This is a product that you use over very, very slick surfaces. So if you are questioning, like, melamine, or, I recently painted an upright baby grand piano. It was like unbelievably high gloss surface. Ultra Grip is an awesome product if you are concerned about your paint sticking because the surface is so slick. This is very shiny. It's a little bit pitted, so that will give us some texture to be able to stick to. This is going to help ensure that my paint sticks to it. So you're not going to see it. It's going to dry sort of clear, kind of cloudy, and it's going to feel kind of matte. Right now, these are bright and shiny. You can see the reflection from the overhead lights. It's going to give it a matte appearance, but that's my next step, really, is I'm going to get these removed and I'm going to get them painted up with Ultra Grip. Let that dry so that my next coats have a chance to really be able to stick and adhere. These are an item that are going to get a lot of wear, especially in these foot bars, these bars. So I'm going to want to make sure that everything sticks well. Just want to come on quickly. I have done the Ultra Grip on this chair and I have not on here. You can see the difference already in terms of the sheen, how much it's dulled it down, given a little bit more of a slightly roughened texture to be able to stick the next layer of paint to. That's the beauty of that product, taking it down and giving you a little bit more of a matte surface to apply your next layer of paint. I have all of my coating on there now. Right? So it's all dry, and we're now going to apply our color. Here's what we're doing. I thrifted this wonderful little tall fabric, $4.99, 30% off. So that's $1.50, so $3.50. Can't beat that. And what I wanted to do then was to pick up that blue tone. So in my fusion paints, this is the color matching. That's what I'm going to do. This is called Seaside, this particular color. I mean, you could go into a full cream. You could go into a black with just this, right? You could certainly go a softer blue if you wanted. I didn't. I'm going Seaside. So let me put the fabric off to the side so I don't get it painted. Now, I don't particularly like painting things like this that often because it's all spindles, right? It's just all these circle things, and they're just not all that fun or interesting. And so it's just not my favorite. Doesn't mean I can't do it. Obviously, doesn't mean that I won't do it since I'm doing it. I just don't have as much fun doing it. I prefer using a smaller brush. I don't want to have globs or drips anywhere, you know, on the back side where I don't see it. And I just find it easier to kind of control the paint that I'm applying and just get nice coverage. Now, with your first coat, as always, you're not adding on tons of paint. You're looking to get the paint on there, base coated. Don't agonize over perfect coverage everywhere. We just want to have the paint on. And when I'm doing this, I like to get as much as I can all the way around as I work my way down the leg or down the spindle, because I don't want to have a lot of stop and start marks. I don't want to be disturbing this paint when I go to paint the back side. I want to have that nice smooth coverage. And you can see already the change, how this just lightens up this stool. It's going to be lovely. And it's easy painting. It's just, you know, the fun is in seeing the transformation as opposed to I'm having fun doing a really unique technique with it. So I'm going to carry on with this. It needs 2 coats. So I'm going to paint this full coat on both of them, let it dry thoroughly, and then come back and paint a second coat on them. It's going to be a lovely transformation. I am excited to see that. I'm just not excited about sitting on the floor painting it. While we've got our chairs drying, I wanted to kind of start to tackle our seat cushions. Now, let's face it, you've got a couple of ways to go with this. You could, in fact, unstaple all of this, remove the fabric, put a little bit more foam over it, and then attach the new fabric. I would probably have to do back this. This is a little bit thin, the fabric that I bought, a little bit kind of see-through. Not see-through, but you can kind of see shadows. So you could do that. I would probably put a plain fabric and then do my fabric. So you could do all that. Or you could just take your fabric, cover it over top of this fabric, which is what I'm going to do, because basically I'm not going to be selling these for a lot, and I don't want to invest tons of my time, and I'm lazy. It probably comes down more to that. So here's the other option. I could just cover this directly. However, because this fabric is a light color, these are a dark color, you can see echoes of it coming up through that. And so again, I could cover this with just even like a bed sheet, right? I could cover it with a plain and then cover it with my fabric. Or because I don't have any of that here, what I do have is paint. I'm gonna paint them. So I'm taking a white all-in-one paint, and I am just gonna paint my fabric. So I'm just gonna lightly mist it with a bit of water. Gonna mist my brush, and I'm just going to add some white paint onto my chair cushion. That's it. So easy. I'm just doing one coat because I don't need it to be perfect coverage. I'm not painting the seat cushions, although I had debated it. If I didn't happen to have a fabric that I liked kind of sitting on the shelf, because when I find nice ones, I get them from the thrift store, but if I don't have it, I probably would have just painted this out. So instead, I'm just going to paint it out one coat. You can see that it's going on. If you look closely, you can still see the patterning because it's textured. And that's okay, but it's going to give me a lighter base to then attach my fabric over top of. So all I'm gonna do is mist it lightly, apply my paint, put it off the side to dry, and then tomorrow when it's dry, we'll be ready to recover. Easy peasy. If you think that painting it is more work than just taking it apart and adding other fabric, cool. It just depends upon which one. Anything with fabric is more work for me. Painting, I can do in my sleep, so that's the way for me to go. But I wanted to give you an alternative. If you are like me and you don't have tons of extra fabric lying around, you'd have to leave the house to go get some. I mean, I'd have to, you know, plan on a time that I'm not in the shop to be able to go and get some extra fabric to be able to do this. And I'd rather just get it done. So I'm just getting it done. All right, next step for our chairs. I have cut a square of fabric that is big enough to fit my seat cushion. Now this isn't painted. You could see like it would need more coats if I was gonna actually paint it, but it's lightened it up so it's not going to be as graphic through here. The one thing that I did do is on my fabric, because there's pictures, I cut it in such a way that there's like that whole big image, that whole big graphic there that I want to kind of center over my chair so that I get most of that beautiful rural scene showing in my seat. So then, holding that in place so it doesn't slip, I just flip it over. Now I like knowing that that's my top, this is my bottom. And when I do this, I anchor it top, and I need to get my fingers out of the way because it's a heavy duty guy. So I like to just pull it taut, not stretching the fabric, but I don't want it to be super loose, right? So top and bottom, and then I go left and right. And for those of you that freak out about this, no, it's got two triggers. Both of them have to be engaged before it'll shoot. I always get people commenting going, it looks too scary. So when I push here, I then engage one, get my fingers out of the way, and engage the second. So much safer than it looks. Okay, so now that I have my 4 areas, and you can see that it just pulls it nice and straight, then I go into the 4 corners, and I'm going to pull each of those corners in and just kind of anchor those down, okay? Then once those corners are done, here's where I go in and kind of pull and tuck it so that I get little pleats that don't really show up on the side. And then I would come and anchor those down, okay? So then I will staple, staple, and staple in the middle. So I just like to get all 4 corners done before I do the pleating. So I do the 4 corners, then I come in and do the pleating, and then I just simply cut away the excess. And then that cushion's done, easy peasy. And then all that's left to do is reattach it to the chair frame by screwing up into the seat through the brackets on the seat. So, you know, really, if you were ever looking at your old stools and thinking, oh my gosh, they have seen better days, I definitely need to go out and buy new stools. This is how easy it is to just fix the ones you got. So assuming that they're in good condition, it's just they look worn, they don't fit your decor anymore, something like that, a little bit of paint and a little bit of thrifted fabric, and you're good to go. Let me get this finished and put it onto the chairs, and then I'll show you our little finished, my paper out of the way. Show you our little finished stools. So you can see I'm holding those little pleats. Pull this one. And then nice and taut, nice rim. And here's our finished stools. Really, items like this, where as long as the swivel mechanism and nothing has detached, still works, I'm swiveling, then you're good to go. I mean, these just took a little bit of thrifted fabric and some paint, and it completely updates the look. That old kind of brown and black tone and the heavy rusted brown kind of colors of the fabric just made them look really old and dated. A little bit of an update in color is all that it takes. And really, you know, if you've got stools that they're the perfect height for your home, they work with your counter, but they just look kind of dated, give something like this a try. It saves our landfills, but it also saves you a few dollars. The replacement cost is infinitely better with a little bit of paint and some thrifted fabric than in the search and the purchase of brand new. These look brand new. So they're gonna be loved again. Hope this inspires you to kind of look at something in your home that's looking a little bit dated, that you're thinking of getting rid of, and wondering if maybe the magic of paint is all that you need to love it again in your home. Let me know what you think of this one, guys. Love to hear from you, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Until then, take care.